Okay, we're live on YouTube as well. Welcome, class, to chapter 7 and chapter 8. Okay, so we're going to start the zooming process. Okay, I'm sharing the screen. Okay, in chapter 7, we talk about escrows and title. Okay, so let me pick that on top. Okay, escrow in general. Okay, what does that mean? Escrow 是一个中间的交易公司。OK， 它是第三者。OK，this is a third party. OK，it's a neutral third party. They just take instructions from both parties and finish the job. OK，for the transaction. 它是第三者，它是综合的。OK，它不帮任何一方。OK，Party A、Party B。OK，他们都不帮的。OK，他们有这个协议，他跟着这个协议走。OK，他们有纠纷的话，他就会停掉。OK，等上我们会提到这个。OK，if there's any discrepancies between the seller and the buyers or any parties thereof. OK，escrow will stop and then wait till for court action. We're going to talk about that later. All right. Okay, so when is escrow created? It's created, okay, when a separate written agreement, okay, instructs a neutral third party. So this is escrow. Okay, this is escrow. To hold funds and only proceed when all agreed to condition have been performed. OK， 他们呢也是 handle 这个 money。OK， 所有的钱呢都通过这个 escrow 来操作。OK， 所以没有一方可以拿住这个钱。OK， 全部交给这个中介交易公司。OK， 这个 escrow。So they hold the money, they manage the money as well. Okay, they hold the funds. Okay, and only proceed when all agreed conditions, okay, have been met. Okay, you did the home inspection, you did the repairs, you did the termite, right? You buy the insurance for the lender, right? You got the loan, etc., etc. Right? Everything that has to be completed. Okay, so escrow take care of the money. Okay, and all of the paperwork. Okay. Okay, and then of course all the conditions. Okay, that is required. So all of these. Okay, then they complete the transaction. Let me clear this. Alright, so what is recommended during this? Okay, highly recommended, but you don't need to. OK， 这个呢就是意见你通过 escrow 来做事了。OK， sale of real property 买卖房产。OK， loans OK 做贷款从贷款。OK， exchanges 交换房子。OK。So exchanges is what we call 1031 exchanges. Okay. So by law, there's a code number, right? Whenever you say 1031 exchanges, people know that you are swapping, right? Changing houses. So as to avoid, not to avoid, but delay the tax. Okay. 你交换房子的话，就是目的就是你引起这个税了。OK， 因为你没有抽这个钱放到口袋。所以政府呢就给你延这个税。OK， 你多赚这部分的话，你投资回来，他就不 charge 你的税。OK，required by law， 必须要的。OK， 法律上。OK，liquor license transfer 转让这个酒牌，必须要通过 escrow。security sales impound account。OK， 这个房产的债券买卖。OK， 加上了有 impound account， 他帮你收房产税跟保险。OK， 也需要的。OK， court orders right transfer probate sale。 OK， 审判这个转让房子。OK， 主人死了 right， 他的遗嘱等等，他有审判呢 right， 这个也要通过 escrow。OK， 必须要通过 escrow。 So court order transfers. One example is probate sales. Okay. Alright, so what we have here, requirement of a valid escrow. Alright, is you have signed escrow instructions. Okay, between the buyer and the seller. It's a neutral third party. OK， 它也有这个协议的 ，OK，escrow 的协议，它就是抄你们那个买卖协议 ，OK，so it's a shortened copy of your sales contract, okay, but to the concise point, okay, so that's called escrow instructions. It's a third neutral party, okay， 它是第三者 ，OK， 帮你做事的第三者 ，OK。Escrow company acts as a dual agent of the buyer and seller， 它代表两方的 ，OK。Conditional delivery of funds and document， 它就是也是处理什么这个钱跟这个纸张 ，when all of the conditions are in escrow are met，OK， 所有协议里面的条件合符了，它就是可以交易了 ，OK，remember that，OK， 要记住。Escrow instructions are confidential， 它是保密的 ，buyers and seller and the agent， OK， 不可以公开，是 public information， OK， 是保密的。An escrow agent must be strictly impartial and may not give advice to either party， OK， 他不可以教一方怎么去做事，他就说你问你 agent， OK， 你问你律师，你问你的 CPA 怎么去处理你自己的事 ，OK？ 他不会给你任何的讯息怎么去操作的 ，OK？They won't advise you on how to do any of your transactions, okay? But they say we need a termite report. That's all they need, okay? You take care of it, right? Or whoever per the contract is paying for it or order it, okay? So they are impartial. They just look and do whatever the contract says. OK， escrow officer， OK， 这个escrow 里面这个操作人员 ，OK， 和工人 ，OK， not licensed by the state but an employee of licensed escrow company. OK， 他没有执照的 ，OK， 他用公司的执照来操作 ，OK， 公司又拿这个执照。Escrow officer can also be corporations， OK， 他们可以就是普通的公司 ，or attorney，OK， 他的律师，也是 real estate broker，OK， 房地产经纪人 ，OK， 这是有 broker 牌照的，可以操作。Okay, I'm gonna take down 我的 video， OK， 不需要我的 video，OK。Okay, you guys could still see it, right? One sec. Okay, so let me clear the drawing and go back. Slideshow. Okay, so corporation, attorney, and real estate broker, right? They could be. Okay, duties of escrow company. Okay, what are they supposed to do? Okay, they look at all condition, right? Delivery of all funds, they handle the money. Okay, and the documents when the conditions of the escrow have been met. Okay， 他们就是处理什么呢？处理钱呐、right？ 跟那个纸张。Okay，and it's confidential. Okay， 保密的。All escrow instructions are confidential, and disclosure can be authorized only by buyer and seller. OK， 两方可以说给谁看，不给谁看。OK， 好像buyer if they have an appraisal report, okay, they could keep it to themselves. They don't have to show it to the seller or the other agents, right? The listing agent, right? 所以呢，给你一个例子 ，OK， 好像这个买主，right， 他有这个估价报告 ，right， 他可以保密 ，right， 不给对方的卖主跟 listing agent 去看 ，right， 他自己 agent 当然都知道了 ，right。Okay, deposit holder, right? They also control the money. The initial deposits, right? The balance of the funds, right? The loan proceeds, the payoff of the original mortgage, okay? Everything go through escrow, okay? 这个初期头款 ，right？ 这个 EMD initial deposit 也是他收的 ，OK？ You know， 你其他的首付等等的费用也是他通过 escrow， 然后呢 escrow 呢就付清帮这个屋主付清他的贷款，也是通过 escrow。新的 loan 这个钱进来呢也是通过 escrow，OK？ 等等 ，OK？ 然后最后呢省下来的钱呢就给这个屋主了 ，OK？ 他赚到钱还是他亏钱等等 ，OK？So escrow company can disperse funds and documents only when conditions have been met on both parties have been reached agreement. OK， 他们两方同意，close escrow，OK， 关掉了 ，OK， 完成了就 OK 了 ，OK。So both buyer and seller they have to agree. There's nothing else to be done, so let's close escrow. OK，escrow sequence of events，OK，他们这个 timeline，OK，这个时间段我们看一看，OK，the very first thing that they do upon open escrow，right， 他开 escrow 的时候 ，preliminary title report search and report，OK，他们就知道这个初期的产权报告，right，这个房子欠什么税啊，欠什么等等，OK，lender demand。So if the seller has a mortgage on it, they have to find out how much is owed and a payoff statement. OK，这个屋主有这个贷款的话 ，right， 他要求这个他的银行给他一个 payoff statement，right， 到底欠你们多少钱，到哪一天？给 request of a new loan document，OK， 他们帮买主这边签去公证，right， 这些文件，right， 他们贷款的文件 ，completion of condition and deposit of funds，OK， 他们处理这个钱 ，OK， 跟就是文章 ，OK，paperwork，OK，adjustments and proration， 他们又调整。Okay, 分配这个钱 ，OK, proration for what? Taxes, right? Rents, okay, etc. Okay, 他们那个分配什么呢？房地产税嘛 ，right? 跟那个租金，一个有租金在里面，等等 ，OK. Transfer of existing fire policy or creation of new one, OK. 这个火险他们也有处理。你用旧的还是你用新的 ？Recording of a deed，OK， 记录这个产权证，closing date and issuing of title insurance policy，OK， 它也是帮这个卖主买一个产权保险给这个买主，OK。The seller is buying a title insurance to for the buyer，OK，and then the buyer also buy a title insurance to the bank，OK。买主也如果他做贷款的话，他要买一个产权保险给银行的 ，OK。Disbursements of fund， 好了，这是分配这个钱了 ，OK。So that day, the close of that day afterwards, right? Everybody get the money, right? 大家都分配这个钱了 ，right？Seller 得到他赢的就是赚到这个钱 ，right？他 seller 的银行他拿回他的贷款，如果没有付清的话然后买主的话就借款了这个银行就给钱进去然后他们的贴钱这个首付费用等等进去 escrow statement sent to each party， 然后最后这个清单就给大家了两方都给他一方可以看到自己这边花这个钱是多少，So each party get their own statement. Okay, seller will get a seller settlement statement. The buyer will get the buyer settlement statement. And they're different, okay, because they're paying for different things. Okay, 他们两个清单是不同的 ，OK， 因为什么？他们付的钱都不一样嘛 ，right？ Seller 付这个白蚂蚁的报告，这个修理 ，OK， 这个 buyer 也要付银行一笔钱，去做这个 loan， 所以两方都不一样的这个清单 ，OK， 但是它的总数 ，OK， 加起来1比1是对的 ，OK。Okay, the inside settlement statement is probably not the same for both parties, but the grand total of money spent will be equal, okay? And they know what that amount is, okay? So there's a difference between the two, right? Northern California versus Southern California, okay? You have to know that, okay? 北加州跟南加州做这个 escrow 不一样，我们看看 ，OK。When sign escrow instruction delivered, right? Southern California, okay, they sign at the start of the escrow. Northern California, they sign it at the close of escrow. Okay, 我们南加州是双方的 ，OK。 北加州是单方的，所以他最后是签。Okay, so they both sign in the start of the escrow. That's what we do in Southern California. Northern California, okay, are given to the escrow officers just before the close of escrow. Okay, 他北加州就是不想改来改去，然后他太多事情就做了，所以他到最后他就签这个 escrow instruction. Okay, so in Northern California they do everything at the end, so they don't have to do intermediate changes. Okay, all right, who perform the escrow services, right? In Southern California, it could be anybody, right? The independent escrow companies or financial institution, right? Or lawyers, okay? 南加州的话，就是 escrow 公司啊、招商银行啊等等律师 ，OK? Northern California, right? They only do it from title insurance companies, OK? 它这是产权保险公司做的 ，OK? 两边都是他做的 ，OK？ 就是 escrow 也是他做的 ，title 也是他做的 ，OK？ 他就是让给 title 公司全包了 ，OK？ 就北加州呢，就是只有用产权保险公司来操作 escrow 的部分，加上 title 的部分，它两方的包住。Okay, who pays for escrow？ 谁付这个 escrow 的费用 ？Southern California is split 50-50 between buyer and seller. OK， 南加州的话一人一半。OK， 你付你的，我付我的。OK，escrow services in Northern California, right, is paid by the buyer. So what does that mean? That means if you buy real estate in Northern California, you're gonna pay more as a buyer. 那什么意思呢？北加州的话，全部这个 escrow 的费用就是买方付的。OK， 所以你在北加州的话，买房一定贵的。OK。Who traditionally pay for title insurance？ 谁付这个产权保险呢 ？OK，Southern California, okay, the seller pays. Okay, they give you the standard policy, CLTA. Okay， 南加州的话，这个屋主 OK 会买一个产权保险给这个买主 OK， 这是基本的 OK。In Northern California, right, the buyer pays for the CLTA. Standard policy, OK， 北加州买主也是由自己买产权保险 ，OK， 所以也是多个费用出来，所以这个北加州的话，买主又付多两项 ，OK， 一个是 escrow， 一个是 title。So in both North and South California, the buyer pay for any coverage above the standard policy. Okay? If they want more advanced, right, more option, right, doesn't matter north or south. Okay, the buyer have to pay for the extras. Alright. Okay， 不管它是北加州、南加州，如果产权保险它多加这个东西超过这个基本的保单的话 ，right， 买主 ，okay, buyer 要付这个钱，不管他是北加州还是南加州。Okay, so let's talk about this. Real estate broker can conduct escrow. Okay, I did a couple of times. It's not fun. Okay, very involved, intensive, time consuming. Spend a whole day just to close an escrow. Okay, because there's a lot of things needs to be done. So I vowed to myself not to do escrow anymore. Alright, so let the escrow people handle it. Okay, they deserve the money because you don't want to spend the whole day just to do one or two escrows. Okay, they do this every day. Okay, they could close, 30, 60, 100 escrows per month. Okay, but taking too much time. Okay, you need a dedicated person to do escrow. 我以前就是我 broker 的身份嘛，OK，我也做过 escrow，OK，做2、3单我都不做了，太累了，OK，一天成天的8个小时就是 close 一个案子，OK，还是 cash 了，我们还没有做 loan 的部分，OK，所以呢，很复杂的，很多税的东西要做出来，OK，写支票了写了10几张，OK。So just cutting checks is like over a dozen checks, okay? You have to pay everybody, okay? So it's not fun to do escrow, okay? So, give them some respect and patience, okay, for escrow officers, okay? A broker can handle escrow for a fee only if the broker is acting as a real estate agent or principal in that transaction. 因为他是自己的案子，自己公司的案子的话，他可以去操作 escrow。Okay, how escrow works? Okay, escrow 怎么去操作呢？我们看看这个 detail. So all time frames for escrow commence when it starts, right? 它什么时候开始了 ？From the time the contract become binding. 有效，这个协议有效的时候呢，它就开始了。Okay. Not 3 days after open escrow, right, etc., right? The moment they sign the contract, the acceptance, okay, confirm acceptance, it's done, it's open, right? Escrow it starts, okay? The purchase agreement typically has a provision for escrow to acknowledge receipt of this document, okay? 协议上面, on page 10, they have an escrow receipt, okay? So they have to fill that in and sign it and give it back to the agents. Okay, escrow 公司呢，它在协议上面第10页吧 ，OK， 它有个收条的 ，OK， 它要填有签给回去2个 agent. Escrow is completed when， 它什么时候完毕了 ？OK， all conditions of escrow has been met， 所有的条件都符合了。All conditions of the parties have been met. OK， 他们两方该做的事也做了。OK， 这个是 escrow 做的事也做了。OK， All parties have received the accounting of the procedure. OK， 两方有收到这个清单了。OK， 怎么回事？谁付什么都是全部宣布出来。So who selects the escrow company? 谁选这个 escrow 公司呢？ It is negotiated, okay, between buyer and seller. Oftentimes, the seller takes control, right? They reserve rights to all services. Okay, 很多时候呢，卖主 ，OK， 要求用哪个 escrow 跟 title 公司 ，OK， 因为你不用它了，他说不卖给你了。Right， 这很简单。3 ways to terminate an escrow 3种方式来结束一个 escrow. Complete escrow 完成了就停掉了嘛 ，right? Mutual agreement 两方同意也停掉了 ，OK? Court action, OK? Interpleader 这个单词你们要记住 ，this vocabulary you have to know. Interpleader. What does that mean? That means A and B, okay? They don't agree, okay? So escrow stops and then wait for the court, okay? They just put on the shelf and then wait. That's called interpleader, okay? 两方卖主跟买主 ，OK， 他有纠纷 ，OK， escrow 他是中间人嘛 ，right？ 他也不知道怎么去做 ，OK， 所以呢，他说，你们去法庭里面给我一个判断 ，OK， 我停了 ，OK， 这个动作呢就叫 interpleader，escrow 停掉了，等待这个法院的判断。Alright, formal instruction which are drawn, okay, so it's called escrow instruction. Okay, escrow instruction. So it's a short list of all the items on your contract. Okay, so it's contained in the original agreement, your signed purchase agreement. 它 escrow instruction 是怎么回事呢？它也是 escrow 的协议嘛 ，right？ 它是浓缩的应该做的事，从你的协议抽出来的，一点点就做的 ，OK？ 这个叫 escrow instruction， 很重要哦 ，OK？ 你协议有什么规矩，有什么条件，它要全抽出来 ，OK？ 如果它漏掉的话，就很尴尬了 ，OK？ 他们就人家不会用它了 ，OK？ Okay, financing is an important aspect of escrow, right? 做贷款 ，OK， 也是很重要的 ，OK。唯一他有帮这个屋主 ，OK， 去还那个债啊 ，right？ 还他那个 mortgage。So pay off demand statement, okay? So it's a formal demand statement from the lender that details the amount owed. 他要这个清单。Beneficiary statement. This is a demand statement by the lender, okay, that provide information such as unpaid balance, monthly payment, interest, etc. Okay. 这个也是一个清单，给从这个屋主、卖主的银行发出来的。OK， 他宣布他省下来多少本没有付 ，OK， 他该付的利息等等 ，OK， 都有这两样东西 ，Number 1 and Number 2，OK， 所以清单啊，这两个这个数字有很清楚的。Alright, give you an example, okay? An escrow example, okay? 给你一个例子 okay? Buyer Bob, okay? And Bonnie. Seller Sam and Susie, okay? The sale price is $3.95, right? So first trustee, right? The amount borrowed from the borrower, right? Okay, is 316,000, okay? 他借款第一借款就是买主的借款31.6万，down payment, right, is 89,000, 首付是8.9万，okay? Broker real estate excellence realtor, right? 他们的佣金就21725, okay? So total commission payout is 21,725, okay? So whoever sells for excellence realtor, they get a portion of that, okay? So this is total compensation, okay? That is mentioned here. Existing liens, right? 这是抵押的，现在有抵押的，这是什么？这是屋主的 seller's debt to the bank, that's seller's mortgage, $248,500. Okay, and then some tax on street assessment bond. Okay, $1,300. CLTA title paid by seller, right? This is standard policy, title policy paid by the buyer, seller. So you know this is from Southern California, right? Because seller paid. Okay, 你知道这个卖主付这个产权保险 ，OK？ 他付的话，这是在哪一边呢？这是我们南加州的 ，OK？ 这个做法 ，OK？ Closing date，OK？ 2020 June 1st, right? 什么时候结束 ？So this is an example, okay, of escrow. Okay. 它照议这一天就是6月1号，2020年 ，OK。Okay, so look something like this. Okay. So this is a seller final settlement statement. You can see one column is credit, one side is debit, right? How much money come in? How much things that is going out? Okay, they have to pay out, right? 他们有这个是卖主的清单 ，OK？ 他有钱进来叫 credit，OK？ 然后呢，他花这个钱花出去 ，right？ 他有付清他们那个贷款呢 ，right？ 24万8 ，OK？ 然后利息啊 ，OK？ Interest，OK？ Commission, right? They have to pay it, right? Title, right? Premium. Okay. Tax. Okay. Escrow fee, right? $1,000. Okay. So net proceed, 他赚了多少？他赚了11万7。So they made $117,000 from the sale. Not bad. Okay. 所以呢，他们的这个净赚钱就是给屋主赚到，这个卖主赚到11万7 ，OK。Okay, so this is the buyer, right? The buyer version, okay. Again, you have credits and debit, right? 这个是买主的清单 ，OK。他的 credit, OK， 谁给他的 credit？ 他自己的钱呢 ，right？ OK， 所有自己的钱 ，OK。他卖价 ，OK， that's the purchase price. How much you have to pay, right? Escrow fee, right? No, Mega Bucks Savings Bank, right? They get the loan from, right? That's how much that they pay. Okay. And what else? Title policy premium. That's how much they pay to the bank. Right? Recording fees. Right? Property inspection. Right? Fire insurance. Right? Proration adjustment. Right? For taxes. OK， 这个是房地产的税的分配 ，OK， 这个呢就是火险 ，OK， 这个是检查房子 ，OK， 这个是产权保险 ，OK， 买给这个银行的 ，OK， 这个是 escrow 的费用，这个呢就是做贷款的费用 ，OK， 所以它总共 OK 花了这么多钱，然后they have a refund here, right? There's an overage, right? They pay too much, so they get this money back. OK， 他多付了1000块，所以他有一张支票回到他手上。So it's very clear, okay? Everybody, you know, if you look at this versus that, right? Different items, okay? So, okay, closing date. Okay, it's the day of recordation. Okay， 它登记在 county 里面的过户这一天就是结束这一天。OK， 这是交易这一天。Closing is the process of signing, transfer of documents, and distribution of funds. Okay, so mostly is this one here. Okay, signing you have to sign, right? So when they record, that's when it's official. Okay, that means they pass title, right? 这个产权证就是转让给 买方了 okay? So that's when they do the actual transaction, right? This is when they record, confirm. They call the recording confirm. Okay, once that's confirmed, that means the deal is good. Okay, transfer has taken place. Okay, 这个确定登记的话的时候 ，OK， 这是过户了。Let's talk about proration. OK， 这个分配这个也是蛮复杂的。OK。Okay, the process of proportionally dividing expenses or income to the precise date that the escrow closes or any other date previously agreed upon. Okay, so what does that mean? If it closed on the 22nd, okay, so the 1st to the 22nd, okay, this is seller. Okay, 23rd to either 28, 29, 30, or 31, right? That's the buyer. Okay, so on the day, it's still, for example, they record typically in the afternoon, right? 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, right? So that day still belongs to the seller. Okay, that day still belongs to the seller. Okay, um, you know, from midnight to 5 o'clock, right? Majority is the seller, so they just say it's the seller. They don't go down to the wire, the minutes, the second, and the hour, right? They just use the day. Okay， 所以呢，一个你22天那个时候结束，来转让的时候呢，这一天当天也是卖主这一天，所以你分配什么东西都是用这个时间段来分配。Okay, the proration. So let's say it's $31, right? You get $31, right? So seller will get $22, right? And then they will get $9. Okay, the buyer. Okay, that's how they split, right? That's how they prorate. Okay, everybody understand that, right? Okay. All right. So what are we prorating, right? What are we prorating? So on math and in school, right? We just use 30 days. Okay. What are we prorating? Property taxes, right? 我们上课啊，right？做题啊等等，都是用30天，OK？但是 in real life，哎，真的话，它是用28天、29天、31天来算，OK？OK，property taxes，right？房地产税要分配 ，fire insurance you have to prorate，OK？保险 ，OK？Interest charged by the bank，OK？Old and new, right? They prorate. Rents, 房租 is a prorate. Okay, so remember that. Okay, these 4 items. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, mostly fire insurance. If they use the new, okay, then they don't need the prorate. Okay. 因为他用新的保险的话 ，right， 他就不用分配旧的 ，OK。All right, termites and other problems, okay? 白蚂蚁 ，OK， 跟其他的问题 ，OK。So for termite, right, written by licensed pest control company and starting condition correct cause, any termite, dry rot, fungus damage in accessible area of the structure, okay. in the attic, at the porch, right? Maybe a condition of escrow, right? So in your purchase agreement, you say, hey, seller is gonna pay for the termite report, and they're gonna fix section 1 of the repair, right? If there's any termite or dry rot or wood damage, okay? 所以呢，他可能你买卖的协议里面，right，你一定提到谁去付这个摆蚂蚁的费用。Okay, FHA and VA loan application, right, require pest control report. It's a must. You cannot say, hey, let's waive it, right? If you're getting an FHA loan or VA loan, you have to have a termite report because they are guaranteeing it, right? All of your house get eaten up by termites, right? Local custom usually decide who pays, right? And financial institution agency will decide which one of the party pays as well, okay? So, but typically, I mean, if you're selling a good house, right? So it should be free of termites. So typically they want the seller to pay for it, okay? Because you don't want, unless, you sell it as is, you're losing money, you don't care, and you say you want it, you pay for it, okay? 很多时候呢，大部分呢都是卖主付的 ，OK。但是情况的话，一个它是一个很旧的房子，很破烂的房子，小老都不太赚钱了，right？还是他亏钱，他就说你想买的话你做 ，OK。So it's always negotiable. Negotiable. Alright, broker maintain pest control documents for how long? OK， 我们就保持这个摆蚂蚁报告是多久了 ？OK， 3年。OK， so the civil code requires that the broker shall deliver a copy of the structural pest control certification report and notice of work completed to the buyer if such a report is a condition of the deposit receipt. Okay, you could take a look at the website, okay, if you're interested, okay. 这个是这个白蚂蚁的网址 ，okay. Alright, fire insurance, right? 保险 Okay, so a lot of people buying cash, they say, oh, I don't want title insurance, I don't want, fire insurance, okay? But fire is what it is, okay? It could be started in the kitchen, a smoking cigarettes, right? Lightning, you never know, right? So it's insurance that you pay for, okay? You get some sort of protection. 保险的话，因为房子不是几千块、几万块的东西 ，right？ 这个50万、100多万的房子 ，right？ 你没有这个保险的话，很危险 ，OK？ 这是一个费用了 ，OK？It protects the insurer against financial loss due to fire and other perils on the property. Okay, necessarily, okay, 必须的 ，inexpensive, okay， 不是很贵 ，compared to losses due to fire。如果它着火的话，你就全房子都没了 ，OK， 烧光了 ，OK。All lending institutions require coverage up to the amount of the loan. OK， 银行借款给你的话，它必须要你买这个保险 ，OK， 保到它欠款这个数字 ，OK。Should cover full replacement value of the structure, not necessary to insure the land. 地不需要 ，OK， 但是你这个房子的价值又保上去 ，OK， 因为地烧不烂了 ，OK， 你烧什么东西，地还在。So everything on the land, right? They could go up in smoke, but land is still there, so you don't need to insure the land. Extended coverage endorsement, right? Insure against all items on the next 2 pages. Okay, 其他的东西也有考虑。Okay, fire and lightning. Okay, 就是闪电。为什么闪电 ？So why lightning, right? Everybody asks. Okay, so let me draw a picture. This is your chimney, right? This is your fireplace, right? This is your window, right? You have draperies here, right? So when the lightning strikes, it goes down your chimney, has carbon buildup, so it conducts electricity, and the drapes catch on fire. Okay, so that's why you see on a chimney you have a little lightning rod, okay, that goes to the ground, okay. But anyhow, right, there's a possibility that lightning strikes and the drapes get caught on fire, okay. So they protect against lightning. 闪电为什么闪电又注意了 ，right？ 因为你有壁炉，有这个烟通嘛 ，right？ 烟通上面有很多就是 carbon，OK， 就是灰炭，这个传电的。闪电的时候，它通过这个烟通下来 ，right？ 你有窗帘啊等等的话，就交火了 ，OK， 交火就烧了 ，OK， 所以闪电是一种也是他们的保护 ，OK， so fire and lightning. Other stuff, okay, that you want to consider is windstorm, 刮风 explosion, 爆炸 hail, 冰雹 aircraft, 飞机 smoke, 烟 okay, riot, 暴动 okay, vehicle not attributed to strike or civil commotion, okay, 你的汽车是你的财产，你放了 garage 也是保护住的。So they protect your automobiles in the garage as well, okay? Alright, so fire insurance proration, if you use the existing one, okay? 如果你用现成的火险，你就有分配 ，OK？ 谁付多少钱等等。So fire insurance is often part of the homeowner's insurance policy and is prorated in escrow. Okay, but people get new policy, right? They say, "Oh, my insurance company is better." 有时候买主就有新的保险 ，OK？ 以为他上升自己的保险公司。Co-insurance clause。Okay, 为什么保险这么便宜了？因为保险公司不付全部的 100%. They don't pay 100%. They call it co-insurance. Okay, they only cover 80% of the value. Okay, so let's look at what they cover. Okay, so how non-residential co-insurance works. Okay, actual value of the improvement. Okay, 房子是20万 Okay, so 80% co-insurance, right? They only cover up to 160,000. Okay, 它只保到80%是16万。The amount of fire insurance carried, right? Okay, 第一步算在里面 ，OK， 它就是变为12万了 ，OK。So not the entire value, right? I mean, amount of fire insurance carry face amount on your policy, so it's reduced as well, okay? So 160 times 0.8, okay? 160 times 0.8, so it should be 128. Anyway, let's just use 120. And the ratio loss payment, right? the face amount is up to 120. So they only pay you up to 75%, okay, of the actual reduced amount, right? So they reduced it here already, right? That's one level, right? And then they reduced it again, right? So they're only paying you 75% of the 80%, right? So if you figure that out, right, 0.8 times 0.75, they're only paying you 60% of this value, okay? So 60%. So it's a little bit over half, okay? If your actual loss is 80,000, right, they only pay 75% of that, okay? So 60,000, right? You have to come up with 20,000. So they pay 80, they pay 60, right? So how much are they paying the actual amount of the 200, right? So let's figure that out, right? 60K divided by 200, 30%, right? So at this point, when they pay you, right, they actually pay you 30% of what this is worth. Okay, you have to come up with how many percent? Okay, 20 divided by 10%. Okay, of this value. So you know they that's why they could afford it, right? 所以呢，这个保险还可以保单费了 ，OK， 这是可以付出去 ，OK。If they want a full coverage of this, right, 100%, then your premium, right, will be, twice as high, right, because they only cover you this much, right. If you pay 100%, everything 100%, right. Look at this, they only pay up to 30%. Right? It depends on how much is damaged, right? But nevertheless, this is what they are paying on this amount, right? Okay. So at that point, it's 60. They're only paying you $6 for every $10 that you lost. Okay. Anyhow, that's how co-insurance works, right? 所以保险的话，它没有给你100%的赔偿的，OK？如果有的话，这个保单费是太贵了。So title insurance, right? Let's talk about title insurance. 这个产权保险费用 ，OK? So insurance designed to protect property owners and financial institutions against losses which result from imperfection in title. 它那个产权里面有问题的话，它会保护你 ，OK？你只有付一次 ，OK？ 不是年年付的 ，OK？ 不是好像活险 ，OK？ 你付一次就保护这个过户这一段时间 ，OK？ So whenever that you pass title, right, you have insurance against that passing of title. 所以每一次过户都有买这个保险 ，OK？ Okay, chain of title, okay, 这是产权的历史了 ，OK， 一个连一个，一个连一个 ，OK， 这个叫 chain of title. So it's a history of title. That's what it means. So what it is a recorded ownership history of a specific property. And a title plan is what we call a database, okay? The compile information on the chain of title of a specific property gathered by title insurance company and stored in computers. Okay, so it contains a lot of data, right? All the houses, right? Imagine how many houses are there. So they have to keep clear of each house. OK， 所以呢 ，title plan 这是他们那个产权的资料了 ，OK， 它全部放了在电脑里面。OK， title insurance has 4 functions, right？ 它有4个作用 ，OK， 功能 ，OK。What are they? Okay, first, they could search your record, right? They find your history, okay? 他看到你的产权的历史 ，okay? Examine off-record risks, okay? 有没有其他的人有纠纷在里面 ，OK? It interpret legality of record, okay? 他有没有作假的有没有人加他名字上去等等 ，OK？Insure against economic loss， 如果有的话，有纠纷里面的话，他会保护这个买主、这个屋主 ，OK？They will again, they fight in court for your case, OK? Since you're the owner. Okay, a report showing the conditions of title before sale. Okay, that's what we call preliminary title report. Okay, 初期房产报告. Okay, that's what it is. To show you, how much taxes that they owe, right? How much they owe the bank. Is any lien, mechanic lien, okay, on it, etc., etc. Okay. Types of title insurance policy, okay? 它有几种这个保单 ，okay? So California Land Title Association Standard Coverage, that's the standard, okay? 这个是标准的 ，okay? 叫 CLTA, okay? Whenever you see CLTA is standard, okay? 这个单词就是基本的产权保单 ，okay? So it insure against all items of record, okay? If you record it, they insure it. 有登记的话，它就担保。Okay, it seems like what's the use, right? Okay. If it's on paper, that means there's a record, right? You could defend yourself, right? But this is what it is, right? They defray the cost of court costs, right, to defend you. 它就是保护你了。OK， 有登记的话，它就保护你。Okay, and it also do off-record risks. Okay, off-record. What are they? Forgery, right? 作假的 ，OK， 他会找人去研究 ，right？ 调查这个手写的等等，这些文件是假的 ，OK？Act of minors and incompetence, OK？ 不到年龄还是脑子有问题的 ，OK？ 人家签字了等等 ，OK？Act of an agent whose authority has terminated. OK， 一个代表人他的到期了、过期了 ，OK。Invalid delivery，OK， 没有做好的送件 ，OK。Unrecorded federal estate tax liens，OK， 联邦政府这个地产税 ，OK。Undisclosed rights of husband and wife，OK， 夫妻两个没有宣明出来，谁他可能是结婚前买的房子，他没有宣布，也没有放弃等等 ，OK。Expenses incur in defending title，OK， 他所有的律师费啊，他包了在里面了 ，OK。 So you get some benefits. Okay. So what is not insured? Okay. Easements and liens which are not shown by the public record. OK， 没有登记上的东西，让路啊，抵押啊等等 ，OK。好像你有私人的抵押，你没有这个登记的话它不包。Rights or claims of person in physical possession of the land, squatters, 这个也不保护人家占了在你地上一块地他也不保这个Unrecorded claim, that's why they put up fences, 他们有个围墙等等不给人家带这边 Unrecorded claim, not in public record that could ascertain by physical inspection or correct survey of the property. 这个也是没有登记的东西，但是它也是通过一个survey， 它是这些文件呢这个地皮这个文件等等有金据在里面，但是没有登记的它就不保。Mining claims， 那个矿reservation and patents， water rights， 那个水的权利 and government action as zoning ordinance 都不保So zoning ordinance you have to remember, no title policy will cover it. Just remember that, 你会记住这个地区这是法律了这个产权不保了在里面不管你是住宅区还是商业区还是工厂区等等So industrial, commercial, residential, They could change anytime, They're not gonna stick their neck out for you for zoning ordinance, So they don't cover that, no matter how much money that you pay them, 它就不保 So it looks something like this, They put it on a very heavy stock, fancy paper, and they call it, title insurance policy, and they charge you thousands of dollars for it, At least $1,200, to $5,000, for a piece of paper, 一个纸张，一个保单，收你1200到5000块了，有些感觉是抢钱了Alright, American Land Title Association policy, so this has more coverage. So it insures all against all CLTA. The standard is covered. 基本的东西它就保了很像那个 CLTA 一样。So extended coverage include many of the exclusion in CLTA. 有很多的它不保，它保上去。So generally required by California lender and by out-of-state lender unable to make personal inspection of the property. 这是保险公司它没有到房屋里面检查的，它就必须要你用那个 outer policy， 多付点费，他省得就跑来这边看你的房子Alright, outer does not insure against, 它还有一些不保的东西，不保什么东西 defect known, defects known by the insurer at the time of the policy was issued but not designated in writing. 你知道有问题的东西，你没有告诉他，他不保Government regulation concerning about zoning, remember, 不保 ，OK， 地区的它不保，OK，so you could look at the outer.org website, see what they cover, okay. Outer-R policy, right? This is for 1 to 4 units, owner-occupied residential dwelling, OK， 这个是1个单位到2个单位、3个单位到4个单位的房楼 ，OK， 这是 Outer-R policy， OK， 这是给多单位用的 ，OK。Okay, so we finish with Chapter 7, okay. We'll take a 10-minute break. And Chapter 8 is going to be a long chapter, okay. 我们休息10分钟 ，OK。这样子8的话是贷款，房屋贷款，所以很长一个章子 ，OK。So get ready for it. So take a 10-minute break, OK。我们休息10分钟 ，OK。就看那个 Chapter 8。Okay, slideshow, beginning. Okay, so let me see how many. 74. Okay, slide. Long chapter. Okay, so we'll start with that later. Okay, so see you guys in 10 minutes. Okay, so let me tell the. Okay, so we break until 10:30. We'll be back 10:30. Okay. Okay, we're back. A few minutes late. Sorry about that. Alright, so let's start the slideshow. Alright, real estate finance. So it's a very hot topic right now, okay? 房产贷款, okay? Without it, there is no market at all, okay? 没有房产贷款的话 ，right？ 我们房产生意的话就做不下去了，哎，因为没有这么多人有这个钱来买房子 ，OK？No one have all cash to buy a house because that's too expensive, okay? So typically people put up 20%, okay, and then they borrow 80% from the bank. Okay, so you have a lot of leverage, right? So you put up $1, the bank put up $4, right? Okay， 这是银行出4倍 ，OK， 你这个首付 ，OK， 所以它的 leverage 蛮厉害的 ，OK， 所以你的房子 ，OK， 10%， 20%， OK， 银行呢给你 80%。So that's how you make the money using the bank's money. Okay, but the bank will get money from you in terms of interest. Okay, by the end, by the end of the 30 years, right? After 30 years, they will make 2 times the money that they lend you. Okay, in 30 years. So it's a trade-off, but then your house equity in 30 years is probably 4 times the value. Okay, so you make some money. Okay, depending on the market, right? If you don't have if your house is not located in a good market, okay, you wouldn't get 1%. It's still gonna be 1%. Okay, it never goes up, right? Or it goes 1.5. Okay, depending on the area. 看看你在哪个地区了 ，OK？ 你30年的话，房子的价位可能升到4倍吗？有可能 ，OK？ 但是不太好的区域，比较安静的区域的话，就是没有增加，还是它增加很小。Okay, so this is what we call leverage, right? The practice of purchasing real estate using a small amount of your own money and a larger portion of borrowed funds. So, to give you another idea, another concept, okay, 给你们这个参考一下 okay? Let's say I have $1 million cash, right? Now, I could buy my $1 million home, okay? That's one way of doing it, right? You don't owe anybody, right? You have 100%, okay? But the name of the story is you have control, right? You have the same control here, okay? You control the $1 million, right? Now, if you were to do 5 houses, and the bank is willing to lend you that money, 5 houses. Okay, and you only put down 20%, 20K. Okay, all 20K. Okay, down payment. The bank will lend you 800K. Okay, so you have $1 million home, $1 million home, $1 million home, $1 million home, and $1 million home. Okay, so here you have 5 million. Over here you have 1 million. Right? So you control $1 million. Over here you control $5 million. Okay, the bank is giving you how much? 4 million. Right? You control it. Right? So if it goes up double in 20 years, right? Or 40 years, right? Let's say it goes up whatever, okay? Go up 20%, right? It go up 20%. Here you make 200K, okay? But here you make 200K times 5. Okay, you made $1 million. Okay, with the bank's $4 million in place. Okay, so this is called leverage. Okay, using other people's money, what we call OPM, other people's money。很简单嘛 ，OK。如果你有100万现金的话，你可以买100万的房子 ，OK。你控制全部你控制这是100万 ，OK。另外的方式的话 ，OK， 你买5栋100万的房子 ，OK， 丢首付20万，20% 进去，然后借400万回来 ，OK。所以你控制也是控制这是5栋房子 ，OK， 这是500万。如果它增加20% 的话，你这边只能赚到20万。另外一边的话 ，right， 你赚5栋房子20万 ，OK， 变为100万，5倍 ，OK， 5 times。Okay, this is what we call leverage. Okay, leverage within the leverage, right? So you leverage the 80-20. Okay, 4 to 1. 4 to 1 leverage. You put up $1, right? The bank put up $4. Very good leverage. Okay, better than the stock market, right? You put up $1, they put up $2. No, they put up $1. Okay, one on one. So you got $2 to work with. Over here you have $5 to work with. OK， 房产的话，你放1块 ，right？ 银行借你4块 ，OK？ 你玩股票的话，你放1块 ，right？ 这个 brokerage 也给你1块 ，match，right？ 所以你只有2块来玩。房产不一样，房产你有5块来玩 ，OK？ 总共。Okay, so much for that. Okay, so now we're gonna speed through this chapter. Okay, so you understand the concept of financing. Okay, it's leverage. That's the key. All right, this word hypothecation. Okay, you have to understand. 一个单词你要知道 hypothecate is to provide title to a property as security for a loan without giving up the possession. Okay, it's called hocking your house, right? Okay, you put up your house as collateral, okay, for the loan. 你的这抵押你的房子来借款，这个单词叫这个动词叫 hypothecate. So interest will remain at relatively low levels. Okay, you hear from the Feds, right? is near zero. Okay, 0% until 2023. Okay, so you have 21, 22, and 23. Okay, of low interest, 0 interest rate for lending to the banks. So the bank make 1 to 2 points. So you have ultra low interest rate. OK， 利息是蛮低的。OK， 中央银行的话 ，right， 它到2023年、21、22、23都是0%。OK， 借钱给别的银行去借钱给你去做贷款。OK，so don't worry about rates going up to 5% anytime soon. Right? So if you need to invest, invest and use the leverage to invest. Okay. Alright, the promissory note. Okay. Oops. Okay, the promissory note. 借款书。Promissory note has basically many types. Okay, the very basic one is what we call a straight note. 它有很多种借款书的 ，OK， 最基本的话，它叫 straight note. You only pay interest. And you pay back the principal when the term is done. Let's say you borrow for 1 year. Okay. Each month you pay the interest, and then at the end of the 1 year you pay everything back. That's the definition of a straight note. Okay. Or you could say, oh, I want 5 years, right? Then it becomes interest only for 5 years. So if you look at this, okay, straight note, interest only. Payment in full on due date. Okay, it could be 1 year term, 2 year term, 3 year term, 5 year term. OK， 这个你只有付利息。OK， 到期的时候你又全还，这个本又全还给他。Installment note with balloon. OK， 这个呢，这是后面有个带气球，什么意思呢？你每个月就是付本跟利息。OK。还不清的话 ，right， 到期的时候你也是还他的个本。So at the end, so in other words, the balloon is the principal. Okay, the balloon. Okay, fully amortized note is another type of note. Okay， 这个另外一种比较普遍的 note。Equal monthly payment until pay in full, typically 30 years. OK， 每个月都是一样的 payment。OK， 它连本带息在里面，它那个本跟利息呢，它会转的。OK， 开始的时候利息蛮高的。OK， 最后的话，这利息就没有了。OK， 就是还本。所以呢，30年的时间 ，or they have 15 years, right？ 15年的。Okay, so promissory note is the basic instrument used to evidence the obligation of a debt. Okay, so this is what we call IOU, right？ 你写一个收条，我欠你多少钱 ？OK， 这是借款书。Principal is the dollar amount of the loan. 这是本，你借多少钱 ？OK。Interest is the rent charge that you pay to the bank to use the money. Right？ 这是银行赚的利息，你给银行去赚的。Okay, so we talk about a straight note. What is a straight note? It's a promissory note in which the borrower repays the principal in one lump sum at maturity, while interest is paid in installment or at maturity. Okay, you don't have to have monthly payment, right? You could pay everything at the end of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Okay? 所以呢，这个 straight note 很简单 ，OK？ 你最后你1年就还他本，还是2年还他本，还是5年还他本 ，OK？ 但是中途的话的利息 ，OK？ 就累积上去了 ，OK？ 所以利息最好的话每个月还给他，还是每一年还他 ，OK？ 这样子的话，他就不会 charge 你利息 on top of the 利息 ，OK？ So the best way to pay them monthly or annually or quarterly, okay? If not, the accumulated interest will become your principal. So you pay more interest because they're also lending you what's owed to them, okay? It's called compound interest, okay? But most people they just do a monthly payment or annual payment or quarterly payment. Okay, partially amortized note, the balloon payment we talk about. Okay, so similar, whatever that you don't pay, right? You pay in a balloon, right? 这个你没有付清的那个本的话，最后也是付一大堆钱出来 ，OK？ 对，但是这个可能借款这个时间长一点，5年、10年、15年 ，OK？ And then fully amortized installment note, we talk about, right? The period of payment monthly, right? Interest and principal equal installment till that is paid in full. So the most common used type of note in California, okay, is the fully amortized installment note. Okay, you could have promotional or season note. What season note is does what 6 months plus. Okay, they have collected payment after 6 months or 12 months. Okay, they call it season note. Promotional notes is in the beginning they may give you a better interest rate for the first year. Okay, or the first 3 years they give you a good rate. Okay, after that they go back to normal rate. 什么意思呢？讲 season note， 就是贷款他已经收回去6个月到1年的这个payment。OK，promotional note 的话，就是他吸引客户来用他的贷款。OK， 可能第1年给他低的利息，还是头3年给他好的利息。Negotiable instrument, any financial instrument of value, okay? So, what is it? Definition, okay? 它这个单词 negotiable instrument is any financial document, okay? Promissory note, a check, or other, stock certificate, okay? 这是一个纸张，哎，借款书也好，支票也好，这个债券也好，股票也好 ，OK，that can be passed easily from one person to another， 可以转让给别人的 ，OK，if it meets certain legal requirement，OK，它有这个法律上的要求。Okay, so it must have certain things, right? An unconditional promise, right? 你说多少钱就说多少钱 ，OK? A dollar amount, right? Unconditional, okay? $10, $20, $100, $1 million, okay? It must be in writing, 写出来的 ，OK? Made by one person to another, okay? Who's the payer? Who's the payee? Right? 从一个人给另外一个人的。Okay, 它有名字在上面。Signed by the maker. Okay, 给支票出去，给这个借款书出去。OK， 这个 maker， right， 有签字的。OK， payable on demand， 随时他要这个钱就给出去了，还钱。OK， for a set amount of money。OK， 多少钱？这个 unconditional promise 就是这个是真的 ，OK， 不是开玩笑的 ，OK， 一定要到位 ，right， 这个钱。Okay, hold in due course, what does that mean? That means one who has taken a negotiable instrument from another in good faith without knowledge of defect. So if you're holding a $20 bill, a $100 bill, right? That means the government is saying that it's worth a dollar, $20 or $100 bill, right? 所以呢，你给人家张支票一样，100块，这是值100块， OK， 可以收到这100块这个钱。OK，hold in due course 就是收支票的人 ，OK， 还是他拿到你这个股票还是借款书 ，OK， 你说100万，是有100万在里面 ，OK。One who use and is in good faith and without knowledge of defect, OK。他会讲，哎，这个是不是假的？是真的 ，OK， 你就接受 ，OK。Important clauses in financial instrument, OK， 其他的要求在里面 ，OK。比如说在借款书里面 ，So this is typically in a promissory note, acceleration clause, OK. What does it say? Upon occurrence of a specific event, for example, you change title to someone else, right? The lender has the right to demand immediate payment of the entire note. OK， 这个屋主都变了人了 ，OK， 所以银行要求，哎 ，sorry， 你的借款你要还我了。OK，alienation clause due on sale。OK， 他发现你卖掉转让给别人的话，也是一样，他有你还钱。OK。So if you sell it, right, the entire loan becomes due and payable when the property is sold, assigned, or transferred, or otherwise alienated. So a third party got involved. Okay. Alienated. Okay. You sold it to ET. Okay. So the bank wants the money back because ET doesn't owe you any money, right? Owe the bank money. You owe the bank money, so they want the money back. OK， 所以你转让给第三者的话 ，right， 银行跟第三者没有关系，所以他说 OK， 你借我的钱你还我 ，OK， 这是这个 alienation clause，OK， 第三者在里面。Assumption，OK， 就是人家你转让给别人了 ，OK， 人家 take over，right， 用上你的贷款 ，OK。 So assumption is buying a property that is already encumbered, right? Has a loan on it, and accepting responsibility， 他有接受这个责任去还这个债务。With the lender's consent，然后银行也同意了。For the full payment of the loan, it's called assumption. They allow you to assume the loan, okay? Taking title subject to is another way, okay? What's it called subject to? Okay, so 另外一个方式去转让的话 ，right， 就是接受这个贷款的话 ，buying a property and take over the payment of existing loan on behalf of the seller, who is still responsible for the lender because the loan is still officially in his or her name. OK， 你就用上屋主的贷款，但是你付这个钱，但是呢，责任上呢还是这个屋主的贷款。OK。如果你不付的话 ，right， 银行会找谁的麻烦？会找他这个 seller，OK， 因为他让给你了 ，OK， 但是你没有付，所以银行会来找谁？找这个 seller， 他还有责任。你呢？你没有签这个贷款书啊 ，right， 所以你没有责任。Subordination clause, right, allows for future change of property of the priority of financial lien on the property. Okay, so this I have to explain a little bit. Okay, so let's say you bought a little house, right, for 200. You put 20% down, right? So it's 40K. Okay, and then 10 years went by, right? Your house now is worth 500. Yeah, let's say 20 years, okay, went by. It costs 500 now, okay? And you say, oh, I want to take out some money, okay? And I want to buy another house, right? I want to take out 100 grand, okay? So you pay down that 200 grand to about 100 grand, right? I mean 160,000, okay, at 80%, right? You pay down to roughly half now, right? 80K. You still owe the bank 80K, but you want to take another 100K out, right? So this new bank say, hey, wait a minute, I'm giving you, right, more than what you owe on here, so I want to become number one. Okay, they become number two. Okay, before they were at 160K, right? They're number one, right? One loan, right? So now you have two loans, right? Or you could just say, oh, I'm taking out 180K now, and I only have one, right? If I take 180K out, because I pay them off, right? So then I have only one loan. But if you want to keep that loan, right, they have to become number two. This is what we call subordination, okay? They become less, okay? They become more junior, okay? 所以这个 subordination clause 是说 ，OK， 你已经这个银行排第一的 ，right？ 他借你16万，他是只有一个贷款。你的房子涨到50万了，你想抽10万块出来，但是这个时候呢，第一贷款的话 ，right， 你大概20年已经付了大概一半了 ，OK， 8万块还在，所以呢，如果你还楼这个8万块的话，它是 number one， 它又 become number two， 但是新的银行借给你这个10万块的，我是老贷了 ，OK， 我比他高。 所以我有 number one， 这个叫 subordination。OK， 排第一又让出来这个位置，变成排第二了。OK，so that's what it makes sense. OK，so banks understand that. OK，they're willing to do that. That's not a problem. In 20 years, right? They make the money already. They don't care, right? OK， 他20年他已经赚到他的利息了。OK， 没问题。OK，prepayment penalty， 这是罚款了。OK， 你早付清的话 ，right？ So if you pay them off early, they will penalize you for not, causing them not to make the interest, right? 他们没有赚够他的 payment, so they didn't make enough interest payment. They charge you a penalty. Okay, they charge the borrower for paying off the loan before the due date. Okay, typically it's like 3 years, right? Within 3 years you cannot pay them off. Sometimes it's 2 years. Okay, but most of them without the fine print, 6 months. Okay, 6个月 ，OK， 最短的时间。为什么我们说6个月了？你可以随时就可以 pay off， 但是6个月就是我们做贷款的 ，OK， 小于6个月的话，我们的佣金等等有退给银行的，所以我们同行的话就宣传出去 ，OK， 你不可以还6个月 ，OK。但是呢，这个也是 OK， 人家帮你做什么多东西，你6个月之内你把它还清的话，他的佣金也凑回去了 OK， 然后 prepayment penalty OK， 你们付这个东西 OK， 因为银行嘛，银行赚这个钱 OK， 你可以抵税的 OK。这个钱 ，OK， you deducted from your tax deduction， OK， 因为你花这个钱，银行赚到这个钱，银行要付这个税，银行 will pay the tax，so you do not get tax on the prepayment penalty, right? If you pay them $10,000, okay, the bank will pay the tax on the $10,000 because that's what the money that they make from you, okay? But if you make $50K for that year, right, you minus the $10K that the bank make from you, so you only make $40K. That's called tax deduction, okay? You only pay taxes on the $40K. And the bank pay your $10K because they make that money, okay? 银行赚走你的1万块，所以银行要付税 ，OK， 1万块，你省下来的5万块，你付1万块出去，你省下来4万块，你就付4万块的税。Impound accounts, reserves. Okay, money is collected in advance from borrower to assure the payment of recurring costs such as property taxes and insurance. OK， 他帮你付这个房地产税跟保险 ，OK， 有时候他们那个钱就花了，最后没有钱去付这个房地产税跟保险，不行的 ，OK， 所以银行用这个方式来保护他们 ，OK， 也保护你了 ，OK。所以有优惠的 ，OK， 你给他 impound 的话 ，right， 优惠是什么？1%。They give you a discount on a rate of 1/8%, which is amount to 0.125%. Better rates, okay? Remember that, okay? A lot of people don't know that, okay? 很多人不知道 你给银行去扣这个钱的话 ，right， 它优惠你1%在利息上面 ，OK。Interest and type of loans, OK， 历史跟不同的计划 ，OK。A lender charge for borrowing the money, nominal interest rate, okay, that's what they call. So it's the rate stated in the note, OK， 这是借款书里面这个利息，说明就是这个利息叫 nominal interest rate. So that is inside your promissory note. Effective interest rate is the rate borrower actual paying, including interest, points, and loan fees. OK， 这个呢就是加起来所有的费用，你的点数，你的费用，你的利息加起来。So this is what we call APR. Okay, annual percentage rate. Okay, effective interest rate is the same as APR. It includes all charges. Okay, 它包括所有的费用。So fixed interest is payments are the same each month for the life of the loan. Okay, so typically 15 years, right, times 12, 180 months, right, for 30 years times 12 months, you have 360 payments. Okay, so every month's the same. 所以15年的话，乘个12 180个月，30年的话乘个12是360个月有 payment， 每个月的 payment 都是一样。Okay. Amortization payment, right? The repayment of a loan, principal and interest, in a regular payment over the term of the loan. Okay, so let me draw a chart for you. Okay. 你要看那个就知道 okay. This represents the dollar amount, okay? This represents the time. Okay. So 15 years, 30 years. Okay. So your interest, right, payment will go something like this. Your principal will go something like this, okay? This is straight, I didn't like that, okay? I'll draw it a little bit more smoother, okay? Alright, so what does that mean? That means this is your interest line, this is your principal line, okay? 这条线呢，这是你的利息 ，OK， 这个是你的本 ，OK。So if we're talking about $2,000 payment, okay, typically this is $1,600 to start, and this is $400. Okay, and then toward here you pay 0, and then you pay the 2,000, right? Your principal. So each month, right? So the first month, right? Let's say, okay, equals to $2,000, right? $1,600 is in your interest, and $400 is in principal. Okay, so P and I. Okay, and then it changes every month, right? It changes every month. Okay, this is what you pay, this is what you pay, and then at the end, right, your interest becomes 0, and then your full payment is 2,000. Okay, something like that. Okay, and what crossover here? Okay, this is what you pay at 50%. Okay, this is at about 22 years. Okay, so at 22 years, right, your amount, let's say your $400,000 loan, right, at this point, it'll become 200. Okay, you pay half. Not at 15, but 22 years. That's how it amortized to be, okay? Around 22 years. That's you pay half. So look at all this, okay? Your first 10 years of your loan， 你看头10年的话，全部都是利息 ，okay? So the bank makes all the money in interest payment, right? You still have to pay them back the principal, right? Okay, close to maybe 300K, right? But they make all of the interest up front, you see? And then toward the end, they don't really care. You're paying back your principal, right? But in the beginning, right, you pay a lot of interest to the bank. So it's compound interest, right? So when you pay, 2%, 5%, right? This is all how they amortize it, right? But the actual interest that they made, right, in the beginning is a lot more, percentage-wise, right? Because it's upside down, right? Lopsided. 所以你看，银行多赚多少钱了 ，OK？ 它头10年全部都是利息了 ，OK？ 赚走 ，OK？ 你看到22年，你的本就付了一半， right？ 40万的贷款，你这边22年，本来是15年，你的概念是15年就付了一半 ，right？ 不是，还有加 ，right？ 7年上去，你就付了一半 ，OK？ 前面全部都是利息 ，OK？ 后面呢，全部你付这个是本 ，OK？ But in reality, right? 5 to 12 years, right? In the middle, okay? About 7 years. Okay, people change houses, right? 你再换栋房子 right? Or you refinance, right? You start this process all over again, okay? So you're gonna repay the bank. The bank's gonna make the money up front for those first 5 years to 7 years, okay? They always make the money, okay? 他永远就是赚走你的利息 ，okay? 明白了吗 ？Okay? So looking at this graph, you understand how the bank makes a lot of money, right? So it looks something like this, okay? So at 7%, okay? You look at the $100,000, right? A 30-year, okay? 100,000, 7%, okay? So you're paying $660, close to $700, right? Okay, that's 7%. So if it was 5%, right? It'll be about $500. So at 4.5%, okay, it will be $500. Okay, per 100,000. Okay. So you could do approximation. Okay, you could approximate. Okay, so we typically use this, but now it's like half, right? 2.5. 2.5 is probably like $300. Okay, so you could do that exercise later on, right? You could use a mortgage calculator to figure out what per 100,000, right? At whatever the interest rate is. Okay, this is how much you pay per 100,000. Okay, roughly. Okay. 你可以预算 ，right？ 你看这个10万块借款30年的 ，OK？ 我们就是说30年的 ，OK？ 7%，OK？ 你就付大概660几块 ，OK？ 就是预算是700块吧 ，OK？ 因为它4.5% 的话 ，right？ 可能是500块 ，OK？ 2.3的话可能是300块左右 ，OK？ 这个你有 自己玩一玩吧 ，OK， 看一看这个数值是什么数值。Okay, so negative amortization, what happened? Okay, 就是它the interest rate charges are higher than the monthly payment. The one thing is that if you don't pay the interest rate, right? I mean, you have principal plus interest, right? The interest portion, right? If you don't pay, okay, you don't zero it out, okay? Let's say you have X amount, right? It will be added to the principal, okay? And then your new payment, right, will be more because you are increasing it, okay, by X because you did not pay the interest. So you can figure out a percentage of that X will be charged into your principal. Okay, then your interest will be higher. Okay, so 这个他用那个你没有付清那个利息这部分的话 ，right？它加上你的本，所以你的本呢越来越多，但是它算这个利息的，就是用本嘛 ，right？你本增加，你的利息就增加了 ，OK？ Adjustable rate mortgage， 对，这个是浮动的。Okay, so before we move on, okay, we're at about half, okay. So we're gonna take a 5-minute break, okay. We may go over a little bit slightly today, but we're gonna try to speed forward. So let's take a 5-minute break. So we're gonna break until 11:25. Okay, see you guys in 5 minutes. Okay, we're back. Okay, so adjustable rate mortgage, okay，浮动利息的贷款 ，okay， so a loan in which the interest rate fluctuates periodically based on a specific index, which makes the payment amount also change. Okay, so typically what they call a hybrid arm. Okay, so this good for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, right, 7 years, or 10 years. Okay, so for this period of time, it's what we call fixed. Okay, 它固定1年、3年、5年、7年、10年的 ，OK， and then whatever's afterwards, okay, has become adjustable. Adjustable, they look at the two factors, okay. One is the index plus the margin. Margin is typically 2%. Index is whatever that they use, the index. Okay, so your total will be, let's say if the index is 4, it becomes 6%. Okay, so your original rate was probably maybe at 4%. Okay, so after the fixed period, it becomes 6% depending on this index. It goes up and down. Okay, and typical they change every 3 months. Okay, or every 12 months, or every 36 months. Okay, that's adjustment period. Okay. Alright, so let's look into that, right? 所以你看浮动的话，它是这样子来操作的 ，OK？ 它是有固定的跟浮动的两个价值来一起 ，OK？ 它是1年、3年、5年、7年、10年的固定 ，OK？ 之后的话都变成浮动了 ，OK？ 所以可能是4%，right？ 但是后面的话，它的利息怎么做呢？它是有个 index。加上它的本这个利了 ，OK， 它赢那个利，这 2% 大部分都是 OK， 这个 index 是跟那个浮动股票啊等等来债券来浮动 ，OK， 如果它是4的话，加2就变成6了 ，OK， 所以不管你是1年、3年、5年、7年、10年之后 ，right， 它就开始每年、每3个月、每12个月、每3年36个月去转让一次 ，OK， 来这样子来操作的。Okay, so some special purpose type of loan, right? You could do the bi-weekly, right? 26 payments, or you're gonna extra payments, so your 30-year loan will actually becomes 22 years. Okay, so that's one thing good about bi-weekly mortgage. Okay， 每2个礼拜付一次的话 ，right？ 你这个30年的贷款会缩短22年 ，OK？ So fixed interest rate loan for which the payment are made every 2 weeks, but each payment is 1/2 of the amount of the regular monthly payment. So you got an extra month, right? You divide by 2, you got 13 months of payment. That extra month, right, will help you to drive your time down. So you save 8 years of savings, okay? Then you have the 15-year fixed, okay? 15年固定的 gaining in popularity because the slight increase in monthly payment, the slight increase in payment, right? Not slight, 50%. Okay, if your 30-year is 2,000, right? You change it to a 15-year, you have to add 50%, so it becomes 3,000. Okay, given it's the same interest rate, okay? 一个同一个利息的话，right， 30年的2000块的 payment，right， 你转到15年的话，就变为3000块，那加50% 上去。Okay, and then we have the reverse mortgage, right？ 反弹贷款。So seniors who need income, right？ 它是用里面的 equity， they use the equity inside, they get a paycheck every month for retirement, but that has to be paid back. Okay, you have to buy back the house afterwards. Loans which the lender pays the borrower a fixed monthly payment based on the value of the property. Then the loan is not repaid until the last owner dies or the property is sold, at which time it is paid back through probate. Okay, so somehow the property has to be sold. You have to pay back the bank, right? Because it's still a loan, right? Okay, but they don't give you a one lump sum. You could take a one lump sum, okay, if you want to, but typically they pay it on a monthly, as they need to spend the money, they take it out, okay, on a monthly basis. 所以反弹贷款的话，right， 你有 equity 在里面，你就借银行的钱，银行会每个月给就是老人家这个那个钱呐，就是借给他了 ，OK。最后的话 ，OK， 那个房子又买回来了 ，OK， 还是卖掉然后把这个贷款还债还给这个银行。Discount points, loan fees and usury, OK， 我们这个点数费用加上高利贷 ，OK。Typical origination fee is 1%, okay, of the amount borrowed, okay, charged by the lender. 费用的话，它就是 charge 你1% 啦 ，OK。然后我们做贷款的话，我们就赚到这个1% 的 commission，OK。所以你买50万的房子 ，let's say you buy a $500,000 home, 20% down, 100K. You borrow 400K. Okay, 1% of that is $4,000. Okay, that's what we make the origination fee. Okay, all right. Points paid are usually adjustment to the interest rate. Okay, if you buy 1 point, it's equal to 1% of the loan amount, right? Let's say the loan amount. So it's $4,000. That's 1 point. Okay, if it's 2 points, and it's 2%, and it's $8,000. Okay, but then originally you get 0 points. Okay, let's say you get an interest rate of 3%. Okay, you pay 1 point, right? You knock off a quarter point, so it becomes 2.75%. Okay, now you pay the bank 2 points. Okay, 2 points, $8,000, right? They still knock down your interest to 2.5. Okay, as you can see, right? You pay the points, right? The bank makes this money. Okay, they're allowing you to have a lower interest rate. Okay, 你给银行的点数的话 ，right？ 银行让你有这个低一点的利息 ，OK？ 每一点它都涨上来 ，OK？ 1/4%。So for every point, typically they give you a quarter point interest reduction. That's atypical. Okay, sometimes it's 1/6. Okay, industry standard is 1/6. It could be 1/4. Right, it depends on the bank. Okay， 看看银行给你多少的这个减这个利息了。OK。 Loan fees, OK， 这是费用了 ，OK，the fee charged by lender in order to apply for a loan, OK, typically is underwriting fee. That's $999 to $1,500. Okay, and then you have escrow. Okay, that's about $550. And then we have title, $450. Okay, so that add up to be $2,000, right? And then you have appraisal. Okay, that's anywhere from $400 to $600 for a normal single family residence. Okay, for mansion it's thousands of dollars. Okay, for a smaller home condo it could be 300, 350. So it depends. So it fall in that range. So all of this amounts to 2,400 to about 2,600. OK， 所以费用的话，银行这个判断这个费用，right， 做你弄 ，OK， 它收大概1000块到1500。Escrow 交易公司收550 ，OK，title 保险450，加起来2000 ，OK， 估价400到600，所以是2400到2600 ，OK， 这个费用。So these are loan fees. Okay, usury 高利贷 ，OK， charging more than legally allowed percentage of interest rate. Typically in California, 10%. I think about 10% they call it usury. OK， 超过10% 的话，都算高利贷了。OK， 在加州。OK， above right 10% or 5% above the Federal Reserve Bank rate of San Francisco, whichever is higher. OK, it will become usury. 还是它超过三藩市银行的历史 ，OK， 超过这个炸5% 上去 ，OK， 就变为高利贷了 ，OK。Most public sources of real estate funds are exempt from usury limits, including agreement arranged through brokers and salesperson. OK， 很多时候呢，它高利贷这个数字会超过了，因为它有个范围的 ，OK。You know, credit card, right? They charge what 35%. OK， 信用卡的话，它可以 charge 35%， and it's legal. OK。Okay, security devices. Okay, they talk about different type of collateral instruments. Okay， 抵押书它有3种。Okay, so mortgages not done in California. Okay, in the West Coast, I mean, it's rare. Okay, in the East Coast, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. Okay, you know, then they use mortgages. 在东部这边，纽约、New Jersey 他们的这种 mortgage，OK， 是用了这类的抵押书。Over here in California, we use trust deeds, and even in Texas, right？ 我们用这个 trust deed 来做抵押书。OK，land contract 以前用很多 ，OK， 现在呢 typically not used。OK， 他用那个协议地皮协议了 ，OK。So this is interesting because before any of these mortgages or trust deeds, right, the land contract is that you have to pay off everything. 你要付清的时候，他就转让title给你 ，OK。所以呢， 这是这一点 ，OK， 这是个 land contract， 你没有付清你的贷款 ，right？OK， 他不转这个产权给你，不是你的 ，OK， 那还是付这个 payment。So basically, you got 3 types of instruments, right? For collateral, 1, 2, and 3. And mostly we talk about trustee because that's what's done in California. Okay, mortgages. Let's talk about mortgages. Okay, so it's a financial instrument in the form of a lien, right? That secure property for payment of a promissory note. Okay, rare in California. Okay. So in a mortgage, right? You basically have to know some terms. There's 2 parties involved. The mortgagor, right? The party who's borrowing. Okay. So you see the 2 O's in here? Borrow. Okay. Mortgagor. Okay. Mortgagee is the lender and holds title to the property. Okay. E with the 2 E. Okay. Lender. OK， 这个是银行，银行有2个 E 在里面 ，lender，OK， 所以它叫 mortgagee， 2个 E，OK，mortgagor， 它是借款人 borrower，OK， 有2个 O，OK， 你 match up， 他们2个就知道谁是谁了 ，OK，so you don't get confused who's who，OK，mortgagor O borrower， mortgagee with the E lender，OK，so you know, on the test, they don't say lender, so and so. They say mortgagee, right? You have to know that's the lender, okay? 考试的时候呢 ，right？ 他不会说 lender， 他就说 mortgagee， 所以你又知道 mortgagee， right？ 这是 lender， okay？ 记住。And then the power of sell inside the note, OK， 在借款书里面它有这一段话 ，right？ Allows mortgagee, OK, lender, right？ 银行 to sell the property without a court proceeding. If mortgagor is in default, right? Borrower is in default. OK， 他让银行把你房子拍卖，如果这个借款者不付钱。So mortgagee compared to trustee， 现在我们比较一下 ，OK？ Mortgage you have 2 party, right? A trustee you have 3. Okay? Who are the 3? First one is the trustor, the one who created the trust, right? And then you have a trustee, 敲作人 okay? So this one person holds the naked title, okay? And help the bank, which is called beneficiary. "受益者,受益人 okay? B for the bank, okay? Or the lender, okay? Same, okay? So for mortgage, right? The mortgagee, right? Who's the mortgagee? The lender, right? Has 4 years to start foreclosure. Right? Trustee, no time limit, anytime, right? They don't pay, right? But they have a schedule, okay? So for title, right? Mortgage does not convey title; it creates a lien. 它就压住你的房子 ，OK？ 抵押 ，OK？ Trustee is title conveyed to a trustee， OK？ 它是叫这个产权，就是一个仪式了 ，OK？ 它不是这个真的产权给他 ，OK？ 是个抵押数的产权给银行这个操作人 hold 住 ，OK？Remedy for default, right? Mortgage, right? Foreclosure only remedy. 它只能 拍卖他的房子了 ，OK。Unless there's a power of sale clause, redemption period 1 year， 他给他1年去赎房子回来 ，OK。Trust deed entire process takes about 4 months， 很快4个月搞定拍卖房子 ，OK。Okay, so those are the differences, right? 所以这个差别就是在这一边呢 ，OK？ 这个 mortgage 跟那个 trustee 来比较的话 ，OK？ Okay, so trustees are preferred to mortgages, right? Okay, so a lot of lenders they love trustees versus over mortgages, right? 当然了，这个 trustee 就简单了很多，给银行 ，OK， 没有怎么头痛 ，OK， 等1年 ，OK， 很多有打官司等等 ，OK。So trustee have fewer restrictions, okay, shorter period redemption, right, 4 months, okay, versus 12 months, okay. So immediate possession wipe out trusters' interest. Okay. California law favors lenders who uses trust deeds. Okay. But one thing I want to make clear here, okay， 这个加州法律就是给银行比较容易去拍卖房子 ，okay。So one thing I want to make clear is that trust deed, the word deeds here is not really a deed, okay? So trust deed is not a deed, okay? Deed, what does a deed mean? It's evidence of title, right? Your right, your grand deed, right? This house belong to who, right? 这个是产权证 ，okay? But when you say trust deed, okay, it's equal to collateral, okay? 这是你的抵押书 ，okay? It's evidence of debt, right? That tied to the house, right? If you don't pay, then the lender could foreclose your home. That's what it means, okay? So it's not a deed. So there's a trick question on the test. 考试里面它有的这个题 ，OK？ 所以他就问你 ，the following are all deeds, right? Except trust deed is not a deed, OK？ 这是这个抵押书，不是产权证，这个要记住 ，OK？ Okay, trust deed. Again, we elaborate on the trust deed now. OK， 现在我们尝试的解释一下。OK， so it's a security device, a collateral, right? What does that mean? Collateral 就是抵押书嘛 ，collateral. Okay, that makes real property collateral, right? For the promissory note. 抵押书里面有这个抵押金据 ，OK？ Parties to a trust, right? I mentioned before, a trustor, the party who is borrowing the money, holds equitable title to the property, is entitled to ownership, use, and possession. OK， 他只是屋主 ，OK， 他用他自己房子等等 ，OK， 他享受这个房子 ，OK。B beneficiary is the lender or what we call the bank. Okay, B for B, right? Okay. 记住 beneficiary 受益人就是银行 Okay, trustee is the third party who must sell the property for the beneficiary, the bank, if trustor defaults. Right? 借款人不付钱，他就拍卖他的房子了。Generally, a title insurance company. Okay, trustee, they use title company. Okay, they hold the legal title only. It's just they're holding a piece of paper. But the property still belongs to the owner. Okay, so a lot of people have the misconception when you have a loan, right? The property belongs to the bank. No, it still belongs to the owner. Okay, legally. Okay, so that's that, right? 很多人以为你借款，哎，这个房子变为是银行的房子了，不是，房子还是你的 ，OK， 但是呢，你抵押的房子给银行了 ，OK。Okay, so trustee creates a lien on the property to secure repayment of a promissory note. So in other words, it's a collateral, right? Okay, this is a collateral. Remember that, okay? Collateral. To brainwash you guys, okay? Or else you're gonna get that question wrong, okay? 考试的时候它会很 tricky， 就是问你这个 trustee 是一个产权证，不是，它是个抵押书 ，OK？ Title goes from trustor to trustee, who holds the title until paid. Okay, until you pay off, then they hold it, right? There's evidence that collateral. Okay, with a deed of reconveyance. Okay, so they give you a receipt back saying that, oh, thank you very much. You pay us, twice the amount, all right, everything, right, interest and principal, and then they return that collateral piece of paper to you. Okay. Title return from trustee to trustor with a deed of reconveyance. Okay. So again, right, this deed of reconveyance is not a deed. It's not a deed. Okay. It's a receipt. Okay. Equals receipt. Okay. 一个收据 ，OK， 证明你付清了这个贷款 ，OK。So it's a receipt saying that hey, everything is paid off, okay? So it's not a deed, okay? They call it the deed of reconveyance. Okay, so the deed of reconveyance is a proof of payment in full. So what is that? A receipt, right? Okay. So provide proof that a promissory note and a company trustee have been paid in full. Yes, 还清了 ，OK， 就是结束了。Okay, so we have about 5 minutes left with 44 only. Wow. We still have 30 something to go. So we're gonna speed through this, okay? If not, then current slide. Okay, default and foreclosure of a trust deed. Okay, let me explain a little bit more detail, and then whatever that we don't finish, we do not finish. Okay, you study on your own. Okay， 我们这个解释一下这个比较详细一点。Okay, default and foreclosure of a trust deed. Okay， 如果他不付钱的话 ，right， 怎么去拍卖这个房子？ Okay, default on a trust deed, a borrowed failure to make payment, right? 他就是没有钱去付了 ，right？ 还不了这个债户 ，right？ 人家都拍卖他的房子。A set number of days which lender will allow payment to be late without any penalty. A grace period, which is 15 days. Okay, 15天是你的 grace period. Okay. Later on, I'm gonna put up the whole timeline. Okay, so I'm gonna speed through this. Okay. Notice of default. Okay. So let me start from here. Okay. Notice of default recorded. Okay. So they give you 90 days. Okay. And basically, right, you have 3 months, right? Within the 90 days, right, the first 30 days, right? 15 days, they give you a grace period, okay? 15号, okay? Afterwards is late, okay? So at here is 30 days, okay? Over here is 60 days, over here is 90 days, okay? So at this point, if you haven't paid them for 1 month, 2 months, right, 3 months, then they give you notice of default, okay? And then they give you 3 months 3个月的时间去赎这个房子回来 okay? And at the end of 3 months they give you a notice, right? Notice of sale, okay? This is called NOD. This is NOS. And then you have 21 days, 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks. And then this is the auction date. So every week they publish in a newspaper, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, that they are gonna foreclose your home. Okay, and then on that day they auction it off. Okay, 所以从头到尾的话 ，right， 15天他就给你的 late charge， right， 30天不付的话是第1个月，60天第2个月，90天第3个月，他就给你宣布我们拍卖你的房子了 ，OK， 然后给你3个月去赎房子回来，3个月之后呢，他给你一个拍卖的时间 ，OK， 然后3个礼拜，每一个礼拜当报纸宣布去拍卖你的房子 ，OK， 然后最后一天22天的时候呢，就拍卖你的房子了，所以你大概有3个月加3个礼拜 ，OK， 4个月嘛 ，OK， 的时间来赎这个房子，很短的时间 ，OK， 所以 notice of sale, right, etc. Okay, you can read this in detail. Okay, so that's basically how the foreclosure goes. All right, you have to make up all the payments, right? Payments, penalty, taxes, and interest, right? 你赎房子的话，所有的 miss payment 啊、罚金啊、税啊、利息啊、费用啊都有付出来 ，OK？ Notice of sale, okay? You have 5 days, business days, right? Before the sale date to pay off everything. Okay? 你有5天，拍卖之前5个工作天 ，OK？ 全部这个费用有付清就赎房子回来。如果你赶不上的话，它就被拍卖了 ，OK？ So it has to be all cash at the bidding, right? So 你标房子的时候，你必须有全现金的 ，OK？ Or you could have deed in lieu of foreclosure, right? You just give up the house and say, hey, bank, take my keys, right? Don't foreclose on me, right? Or you could do a short sale, right? 你可以做个短卖屋 ，OK？ If you refinance, you take out part of the cash. That cash portion is not forgivable, OK？ 如果你从贷款抽钱出来的话 ，right？ 抽钱那个额度，它可以追求你的 ，OK？Okay, purchase money, that's all they're talking about, OK？ 买房子，它可以拍卖你 ，OK？ 拿不到就算了，但是你 重抽钱出来 cash out，cash out 这部分的话，他有可以追求你的。Deficiency judgment， right？ 不够钱付银行的话，他还可以追求你。OK。Second trustee， right？ 第二代捆就是第三代捆等等的，他就排队了。OK。Junior liens。Okay, they typically take 10% only. Okay, and that's it. 他只能收回去大概 10% 左右。他借你10万块的话，他拿回1万块的算 OK 了。OK， 所以它风险高，利息就高。OK。So the high risk, right? That's why they could charge you 10% on the junior liens, right? Home equity line of credit, similarly, right? They are second lien, right? So it's a junior lien, okay? Holder of second trustee, they could ask for notice for foreclosure. 因为你做第二贷款的话 ，right？ 你最起码要求一个宣布 ，right？ 一个第一贷款去拍卖，你知道。Request for notice, that's what I'm talking about right now, okay？ 就是要求一个宣布拍卖 ，OK？Wraparound all-inclusive trustee， 这是用旧的贷款加上新的贷款 ，OK？Land contract is another form of collateral, okay? We're running over a little bit, so just bear with me, okay? So land contract, not that common in California, okay? Different names is called 其他名誉 okay? It's contract of sale, agreement of sale, conditional sales contract, installment sale contract, okay? 有很多名称的 okay? 但是全部都是 sales 或者 contract 你就知道它是 land contract, okay? Parties, two parties, right? Seller is the vendor, okay? Buyer is the vendee. There's no way we could tell you which is which, right? Vendor usually sells something, so you know, okay? 两方在里面，卖家跟买家 ，OK? Truth in Lending Act, Regulation Z and other acts, right? 其他这个法律保护我们消费者 ，OK？ 这是借款者 ，OK？ So Regulation Z, the thing that I want to draw attention to you is that, okay, the bank have to give you, right, the APR. You compare the APR, that's the most important thing, right? Because that include all the costs. Okay, 费用等等在里面含在里面 ，OK？ 所以你可以看 APR 来比较。Okay. So APR is the prime importance in here, right? The finance charge amount, number of payments, okay, and then the total sale price, right? The loan amount, okay? So annual percentage rate APR is a measure of cost of credit. Okay, so what it does not contain is the credit report or appraisal fees. Okay, they don't include that in the calculation. Okay. 这个信用报告这个钱加上去这个估价费，它不会算在里面 ，OK？ Advertising, right？ 打广告 ，right？ 也是管住的 ，OK？ 他们不可以乱来 ，OK？ So as long as you put any numbers through, you have to tell everything, the whole story, OK？ 如果你提供一个数字的话，你要全部提供出来 ，OK？ 这是这个法律 ，OK？ So for refinancing, you have 3 days after you sign the loan down. They wait 3 days to fund you, OK？ 你重贷款的话 ，right？ 你签完这个 loan down 这个字之后，你要等3天，然后他放款给你。OK，Equal Credit Opportunity Act， 它不会歧视个人的 ，OK？They don't care about your race, sex, color, religion, national origin, age or marital status, OK？ 它不管你人种、男女、什么颜色、什么宗教 ，OK？ 你从哪个国家来的，什么年龄，你够年龄18岁以上 ，OK？ 它不管你结婚不结婚 OK 等等。OK, other information collected. Are you married, divorced, right? 这个 child support, alimony, okay, birth control, child bearing, right? They cannot use any of that against you, okay? 它不可以指使你这些的方向 ，OK？ 军人的话有优惠的 ，OK？ 等等 ，OK？ 所以我们基本上呢就讲完这个贷款了 ，OK？ So we basically finish with chapter 8, okay? So let me go and get rid of that, right? So let me do another type of sharing. Okay, I'm gonna do a whiteboard. Okay, so basically, okay, we'll meet next week, same time. Next week. Next week is let me see if we have any holidays. Okay. Next week will be on the 6th, okay, February 6th. Okay, we'll do chapters, okay, 9 and 10. Okay, chapter 9 and 10, okay. 上个礼拜六 ，OK， 2月6号 ，OK， 我们讲这样子9跟10了 ，OK。好，if you have any questions, right, you can always call 626-675-1989. Okay, if I don't answer you, okay, text me the same number, okay, then I'll get back to you ASAP, okay. So I bid everybody goodbye. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. Okay, pandemic is on a rise, even though we have the vaccine. And people who took the vaccine, you become the carrier, right? Still wear your mask, right? Don't spread the disease if you have the vaccine shot. I mean, you may have the virus within you for a few days, for a few weeks, right? Don't go spreading that around, even though you get a shot. Okay, that doesn't mean all virus is gone from you. Okay, so just stay healthy. Okay, all right, very good. We're gonna stop share, and we're gonna end. Waiting for all, and then I'll end the stream.